Yay Networks.
So for all of you out there who have been invested in my medicinal hand ointment journey.
Is that like 5 people?
Since last week's episode, when it was revealed that due to chronically sweaty palms, I have begun administering, Hannah has begun administering a medicinal ointment 2 times a day in hopes of eradicating all of the sweat in my hands.
How's it going, Shane?
I have an open wound developing.
Oh my God, no, you do not.
Possibly festering.
Shane, no, you do. Shane got a scratch, everyone. He doesn't know how he got the scratch. I don't either, but it is not. It's gone. Like, I'm looking at it now. See?
There is.
Do you feel better?
Open flesh.
Oh my God.
On my pointer knuckle.
He was convinced that the ointment had, like, ripped through his.
Yeah, chemically cauterized me.
Yeah, but it's on the back of your hand, and the ointment doesn't even touch there.
Sometimes there's some wraparound effect.
Okay, and so the rest of your palms are totally fine, but you got a blister on the back?
I'm just saying, for those of you intimately following the developments, stay tuned.
This isn't one of them.
My hands have been sweating less.
They have been.
Which has been a miracle.
But if we missed like one application because we were just busy, and they sweated that day.
Can you call it a session?
We missed one of Shane's sessions, and the hands it was awful.
They deteriorated, we'll put it that way.
Yeah, quickly.
This, if you can't tell, is Junkyard Mayhem, a podcast by me and Hannah. We have some cringy stories for all of you today.
I'm kind of not looking forward to this episode because some of these are actually like truly embarrassing.
How did we come up with this theme for this episode?
Because there was one story we wanted to tell, and then we figured why not tell a couple more that kind of fit the theme.
Well, it was one of those rare moments where Hannah and I were reminiscing, and we came upon a story.
We were watching TV.
Yeah.
And you were like, oh, I remember something, and I had never heard it before.
That's the thing. It was a story that Hannah had never heard.
Yeah.
Which, when you've been with your partner for more than, like, I don't know, a few years, you eventually
tell everything.
Learn everything. Assuming you talk to one another, assuming you communicate to one another.
Especially with us having been long distance the first 2 years, we talked so much.
Too much.
Yeah, too much. And we learned absolutely everything. And more in those first 2 years.
So it was a little gem that we found a story that Hannah didn't know, and that got us talking about other childhood memories that maybe the other one didn't know. Turns out, I think we both knew all of them about each other.
Yeah, there's just one that I didn't know,
But they're all cringy. They're all kind of just like embarrassing childhood mayhem type things, and none of you know them, so
yeah,
that will be fun in that regard.
Yep.
For us, this is just rehashing old stories. But the story that Hannah hadn't heard.
Yeah. Should we start with that one?
I guess so. It's the thing that led to the whole episode.
Yeah.
So.
It's a really good one.
It took place when I was in middle school.
That's amazing.
Hannah, knowing what you know about me, can you describe what you imagine of me in middle school? What was my character at this point in life? Because this is important. My fall from grace.
Of course. So Shane in middle school was really, really into skateboarding.
Oh, yes.
Were you still trying to grow your hair out?
Yep.
That
didn't reach its peak till like early high school.
Yeah, I feel like in like 9th grade, your pictures go short because you realized it's not going to happen. But he had
almost shoulder length hair. I was trying for shoulder length.
That was your dream. You had ear length hair.
I had jaw length hair.
Yeah, but it was stringy at the ends. It was not good jaw length hair.
No, it was a nightmare.
So he is a cool kid. Really, really, really baggy jeans. Excessively baggy, like unbelievably baggy. Just a cool skater.
Trying to impress everyone in my path.
Yeah.
Already it's cringy, just like trying to be cool in every way possible. And, thinking myself kind of like a, a badass
Alternative
punk, even though I was the most straight edge and like well-behaved person on earth. But I didn't want to portray that image.
Yeah.
I was tough. And at that time, I attended once a week physical therapy. It took place in a heated therapy pool. So basically, I would get in this very relaxing water, and the therapist would stretch out my muscles. Okay?
Nice.
Not my favorite thing on earth,
Yeah.
but something I had to do to maintain my incredible range of motion. And at some point, my insurance decided that I no longer needed to have flexibility or function or muscle.
Nice.
They said, you know what, physical therapy for someone who has a muscle condition sounds like a waste of our money. So, Chamber Hall, you are herefore denied physical therapy services.
Oh, nice.
Now, we ended up appealing it, and we were appealing physical therapy my entire childhood, and they eventually began paying for it again. But for about a year, I didn't have physical therapy, and that was a problem. So, my mom and dad signed me up for another pool therapy class.
At a hospital, right?
At a rehabilitation hospital.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sure I didn't really want to go, but I was like, okay, it'll be physical therapy, same as always.
And you've always liked swimming.
Exactly.
So
right. So the day of the first therapy session arrives, and my dad drives me to the pool, and we're in the locker room, and I notice many other children. And now I'm a teenager, at least in my mind.
You're like 13.
13. I am almost an adult.
Yeah.
And there are like 4, 5, 6-year-olds running around this locker room.
Uh-oh.
I was concerned that there were even other people there.
Yeah.
My previous therapy sessions had always been private. It's a, kind of a private thing. I don't know. There were many people in this locker room. So it's like, okay, maybe they are going to be in another pool or in the gym or something. We get out into the pool area. I have my swimsuits on. It's probably like a billabong.
Oh,
swim
yeah.
trunks.
Probably down to like your mid-calf.
Oh, yeah. I had them pulled way down. I bet you I used to wear boxers under.
Oh, with a bunch
my
showing.
Suit. It was a bunch showing. And like a seashell necklace.
Oh my god.
Like the tight seashell.
Oh my god.
And I would just shape my hair even though it wasn't long enough to move. So I go out and I'm ready to impress whoever is going to be out there. And the pool is filled with babies and toddlers and their parents. And they all see me. We're late, apparently. They are all in the pool with their parents. And the therapist sees us and says, come on in. We're just getting started. Welcome. Like, very patronizing.
Yeah.
Treating me like she treats the other
the babies.
Parents and their children.
Uh-huh.
So I'm like, oh boy, this is going to be something. My dad gets me into the pool, and we're kind of bewildered about what's going on. And I'm like, Dad, just like take me away from these people, and I'll just like, do my own thing. Because I like enjoyed going under. Like my dad would submerge me, and like, I felt like I was very comfortable in the water.
Yeah.
The class begins. My dad refuses to bring me away from all the babies.
He's like,
he's just standing there like, we're in
this class.
Yeah. And the therapist goes, all right, now, caregivers, parents, for this activity, we're going to help our children become comfortable with the water. So I want all of you, at your own discretion, to fill one hand with water and drizzle it on your child's forehead. And they all begin doing it. And I look at my dad and I'm like, you better not. And he, who's thinking it's hilarious, begins pumping water onto my head. Just little drizzles, and he's going, isn't that nice? And the therapist goes, all right, now everybody, sing along. The itsy bitsy spider went up the water spout.
God.
Down came the rain. And the down came the rain
Yeah.
was when you drizzle
Of course.
the water. The babies are screaming, freaking out. This is their worst nightmare. It's my worst nightmare.
Oh my God, I'm dying.
So that was the experience. And I don't think we went back.
I'm pretty sure you didn't go back. Oh my God.
It was a violation of how incredibly cool that I thought I was at the time.
But now it's a hilarious story.
And I'm very comfortable with the water. Drizzled on my head.
You have
on
no
my
problem.
face.
Because of that class. Thank you.
I love that, like, at that moment in time, you were, like, qualifying for, like, national swimming meets.
And I was like 9
And
also.
You were out there in Olympic-sized pools.
Yeah.
Swimming
You
the
were.
100 in, like, 10 seconds.
And you were having water
being
drizzled on your forehead.
Baptized in a therapy pool.
That is so funny. I can't believe I had never heard that story before.
It's a good one.
It
I
really
think I might have
is.
repressed it.
Yeah,
Like, I didn't
maybe.
bring it up because I didn't remember it.
Like, how is that not in your first book?
I know.
It's so funny.
It is. Maybe I'll have to write another one.
Yeah.
Just for that story.
Well, we're working on our book. You can put it in there.
I'm sorry. That's not relevant for that book.
This
though.
is not relevant at all, but side note.
All right. Well, that is one Junkyard Mayhem childhood story.
I didn't want that to end because that means it's going to be my turn soon.
I have some good ones, and yours are maybe more embarrassing. So those are going to be fun. And then later on, and then after that, we have some cringy stories from our relationship.
We have an email to read you that is
Ooh, boy.
just something else.
Never before heard by the public.
Yep.
It's going to be embarrassing.
Yep.
All right, we'll be right back.
All right, we are back, and we're going to start with my maybe most cringy story. Do you think this is the worst one, Shane? I mean, you don't know one of them. It's a secret.
Absolutely. She's saving one.
Yeah, that you've never heard before.
We have 2 never before heard stories.
Yes.
Here, episode, 8, 9
Yeah.
of Junkyard Mayhem.
It's amazing.
This is a big moment.
I can't wait for you to hear it. It's so embarrassing. But I'll start with this one. You know this one because this is one of the like defining moments of my childhood.
Yeah.
It's really horrible. I was in 5th grade, which is too old for
That's
this.
like 12, right?
It's too
11,
old.
12.
11, yeah, like 10, 11.
You're a human.
But this is springtime. It's a play that we're doing in school, so I'm 11. That's
You're a
I
human.
should be 6
You're
with what you're about to hear, but I'm 11 years old, and I am still a very big Hannah Montana fan. At 11.
The biggest.
Yeah, you might say I'm a Hannah Montana fan now, but I was really her biggest fan at age 11.
Hannah Montana, for those of you who don't know.
Oh, I don't think that's even necessary.
Well,
Who doesn't know?
a lot of people that were not watching the Disney Channel at
Go
the
ahead
same
then.
time as you.
Go ahead, Shane. I
Hannah
would love to
Montana
hear how you describe
was
it.
a fictional character, a TV show.
Well, I saw her in concert, so how fictional is that?
Hannah Montana was a television show on Disney
Yeah.
in the late 90s, early 2000s.
No, Shane. I
When?
think it premiered in 2004.
My God, you were so young.
Let me make sure.
Okay.
But I'm pretty sure.
And basically, it was a story about a teenage rock star who was named Hannah Montana and traveled the world.
But it was a secret.
Okay, Hannah, do you want to
2006. It came out in 2006.
explain Hannah Montana? It was a secret, everyone.
Well, I'm just saying, it's a double life. She was Miley Stewart and Hannah Montana.
Yes.
And I mean,
Played by Miley Cyrus.
Yeah, that idea is just fantastic.
It appealed to you.
It's my dream come true.
You felt like a rock star.
Yeah, I
when
was
you
like,
did
I'm
that.
secretly a rock star and just no one knows. Okay, so I'm watching this show. It is 2006 when it comes out. I don't know what year I was in 5th grade, but it's around this time. That would have been like...
Turns out this happened when she was 17.
No, in 2006, I was 10.
Okay.
So, like, this is, I'm still watching.
We're accurate.
It's still on.
Yep.
You know, this isn't in the past. I love Hannah Montana. And I think I'm just a little bit too old to love Hannah Montana. So it's not something I talk about with friends.
Yeah.
Because they're watching older shows, not me. Miley Cyrus has, or at least had at the time, especially at the beginning, she's young when this is happening, you know, has a Southern accent. And so does her dad. He's in the show. And I loved the way that she talked. I loved the accent. She also had a retainer that you could like tell that she had a retainer. And for some reason, like I thought because of this show that having a retainer was the coolest thing ever. I wanted a retainer so badly. Like I asked my mom for one, you know, the one that would like go on the roof of your mouth with the...
Mom, I just wanted for the aesthetic.
I want it for the way that it sounds in my mouth. Obviously, I was not given a retainer because I didn't need one. But I just pretended and I made my voice sound like I had a retainer. Okay, I could still do the voice now. I do not want to do it, Shane. I know you want me to do it. I don't want to do it. But I can still do it now. It's a very specific way of talking.
Please. Say one sentence.
I don't think it's gonna be like you're not gonna hear it.
My name's Hannah Montana, and welcome to the Hannah Montana show. The S is
no, I can't do it.
My name's Hannah Montana.
I can't do it.
Come on, you got it.
My name's Hannah Montana, and welcome to the Hannah Montana show. You can't tell. You can't tell.
It's a little.
It's just tiny.
You hold your tongue
no one ever noticed. I hold my tongue differently, as if there's something on the roof of my mouth.
But everyone.
And I did a Southern accent. That's the part that this story is targeting, okay?
Yes.
I was from Connecticut.
People are probably thinking that you're doing this like in front of your television.
No.
This became a habit.
Well, this is my voice.
Your voice.
Yeah, like I could not talk like this, which is where the story's going. We had a play in 5th grade, and
Are you doing it now?
I was playing the part of the chef. And I didn't have very many lines, but I had to run up from the audience up the stairs onto the stage, like on the side. And I had to yell, "Give me back my pots and pans and everything I brought with me." And at this point in time, I was so embedded in the Southern accent.
Know the line.
Because Shane, this has haunted me. Okay, so this is rehearsal. I run up. I say, "Give me back my pots and pans and everything I brought with me."
In a
full Southern accent.
Southern accent with a retainer.
Which I wasn't even doing the retainer thing. I was then. And I always kind of spoke like that, but everything was a very strong word. And my classmates laughed and were like, "Why are you talking in that accent?" I was like, oh my God, like that's so embarrassing that people just notice.
Wow.
Because I'm from Connecticut. Like why would I be? It had never occurred to me that maybe someone would wonder why I was speaking in a Southern accent. And so then I tried with all my might to say everything. And I had done this for like over a year, and it was
the retainer,
I could really not.
The retainer Hannah Montana voice.
And the Southern accent.
Yeah.
And I really couldn't get everything. It came out everything over and over again.
I need to know. But this was the climax.
Yeah.
You know, kind of like the public, like, oh, now this is shameful.
Yeah.
But for a year, people in your life let you...
I talked to my mom about it.
Let you develop a list, which is basically what the...
Yes. A list.
Retainer
and like, I talked like this.
And you told that you were from the South.
It's mostly the D that you can, like, really tell.
And everyone
around
you...
And I talked with a Southern accent.
Just was like, well, she's developing... a different voice.
She just really loves Hannah Montana. My mom was like, "You just loved Hannah Montana. It's fine." And it was. Who was I hurting?
So then, was this moment on stage kind of like the beginning of the end?
And then I worked really hard to not have that way of speaking.
Yeah.
And
that was kind of like
took a long time.
Hannah Montana moment, you know, like everyone finding out.
You're right, that I had a double life.
The truth about your life.
Can you believe that, Shane? That's so embarrassing.
That is.
Poor
me.
Adorable.
It's adorable also.
All right, what's your first or next story?
My next story is that when I was a young child, so this one, I mean, anything that you do when you're a kid isn't actually cringy, like kids are weird.
Yeah.
Some of us, like Hannah and I, were just a bit weirder than others. When I was in preschool, I realized that when the vacuum was on, like the vacuum cleaner in our home, I could harmonize with the vacuum perfectly.
Yeah.
So the vacuum would turn on, and I, as a preschool little 4-year-old, however old you are, would go, something about matching the sound of the vacuum coming in my ear with the noise that I was making in my head.
I still do that
It
sometimes.
reached an equilibrium, and it just felt...
Yeah.
It felt like I was vibing without knowing what vibing meant back then. So it became a little like thing that I really enjoyed. Whenever mom or dad would vacuum our house, I would begin going, I mean, you're a kid. You don't think about like the fact that anyone might hear you or see you. You're just vibing, okay? Well, it turns out another place that I would do this was in preschool. Every day, apparently, I am told, after snack, the teacher would vacuum the preschool room. And apparently, when the vacuum came out, little Shane would just break off into, and get ready for it, I didn't just do that, I would sing the Lion King theme song, because that felt nice too. The whole song matches the vacuum perfectly, and apparently every day while they vacuumed, I would just sit there and belt out the Lion King theme song because it felt nice in my head.
Wow.
With no idea that anyone knew I was doing.
Not a care in the world.
I was at the vacuum song, they can't hear me.
Oh, poor you. You were probably so adorable. The teachers probably loved you.
They definitely wrote some notes home to my parents about that one. They were like, he's been exhibiting some, maybe send him into theater. I don't know.
He loves to sing.
All right. Well, that was my embarrassing childhood story.
All right.
Do you have another one for me?
Are you ready for the one that you've never heard?
I am. I think I am.
This is around the same age. I'm in the same school from 3rd grade to 6th grade,
Is
okay?
this pre or post Miley Cyrus
This is
voice?
throughout it all. I did this for years. At this school, I came in 3rd grade. So I came to this school in 3rd grade, and every morning there was a 15-minute school assembly that was actually like a chapel because the school was in a church. So we were like in a church. And so we all sat in pews, and it was like not really a religious, morning thing, but it was like a little bit. Anyone who had a birthday at that morning chapel would go to the front of the church and do their birthday pennies. Okay, and the chaplain
sounds like a weird religion that you're a part of.
Well, this isn't like a religious thing. The chaplain
Sure, I bet it was in a church.
The chaplain had a cup, a glass cup, and she had a microphone, so we could all hear her. This wasn't a very large school. Each grade had one class, and each grade was like 18 kids, so it was not like a ton of kids, but. She had a glass cup and a microphone, and the kids would drop their pennies in, and it was however old you were turning. So if you were turning 7, you would bring in 7 pennies.
You had to bring in the pennies.
Well, if you didn't have pennies, they would give them to you, but you would bring
This is a money-making scheme.
Yeah, but it's pennies.
It sounds like a church. It sounds like a church. Okay.
Oh, my God. No, actually, it is a money-making scheme because the other thing you would bring in is a book to donate to the library on your birthday, and you had to tell in the microphone the school why you brought in that book.
Oh, you would have hated that.
Isn't that horrible? I wasn't as shy then. I hadn't really figured out that like people were looking at me.
Yeah.
So I was really nervous. I would practice exactly what I was going to say, obviously. I would practice the book speech, but I would also practice throughout the year the pennies. Because there is a very specific and cool way of having all the pennies in one hand and dropping them in one at a time without having to fumble them that like some of the kids could do. And I was like, I'm going to be able to do that. And like the sound it would make in the cup was just like very satisfying with the microphone on it. So it was like everywhere. And so I had a bag of pennies in my room the entire year, and I would just practice putting them into a cup like once a week.
Wow.
All the time.
Did you get good at it?
I was amazing at it. I could do it now. I was amazing at it.
So on the day of,
I was a star.
You nailed it.
Nailed it.
One-handed penny insertion.
One-handed pennies. I turned 12, all 12 of them one hand.
Did everyone in the front row like gasp Where they're like, oh
I
my God.
I probably made some preschooler go home and practice
She's
because
good at that.
I was amazing.
You inspired another generation of penny droppers.
Yeah. But like you'd see some kids and they would like just pick up, no. Don't pick up the pennies.
Don't be a slob
Just
about
one-hand
it.
it. Yeah. So
I wouldn't have been able to do it one-handed, so you might have
No.
thought less of me.
I would have been like, well, he can't.
You
do
would
it.
have come
It's
up and been
too
like,
bad.
I'll do it for him.
I'll give him my
One
services.
hand behind the back. Where are your pots and pans?
Can do up to 20.
My name's Miley, everyone.
Oh, for me. So yeah, that was my penny practicing.
That's cute. That's very cute.
Pretty weird. Alone in my room. I just kept a bag of pennies in my room for constant practice.
It's so funny what we like prioritize when we're young.
Yeah,
You know, the things
that
that
was
we
it.
think are essential
The big
to
moment.
make us cool.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
I have another story that's embarrassing and cringy and the epitome of junkyard mayhem.
Oh.
We're dealing with actual junk in this story,
Oh,
which
boy.
we'll get to. When I was in early high school, I think so. Again, well, too old for what you're about to hear. It seems to be the theme here. If you're doing something that's younger than you are, it might be cringy when you're older. But let's say I was 14. My brother would have been 11.
Yep.
And Pat, our best friend, who we mentioned in the episode with Andrew, would have been around that age. And Coca-Cola announced a big program called My Coke Rewards.
Uh-huh.
And basically, if you remember, if you're unfamiliar, for a long time, every Coke product, Coke, Diet Coke, Sprite,
Okay, Shane.
had a code printed on the lid of the bottle. And you could take those codes and go onto their My Coke Rewards website,
Wow.
enter them, rack up points that you could then redeem for grand, amazing prizes. This, I have to give credit to the marketing people at Coke because this was a brilliant idea.
Oh, boy.
At
Did you buy
least
a lot of
because
Coke?
Andrew and Pat and I saw these big shiny prizes and became Coke fiends. Now, we began buying Coke in excess wherever we could, begging our parents for money to make another trip to 7-Eleven.
Oh, my God.
You know, we would walk to Wawa, we would walk to 7-Eleven, buy out as many of the bottles as we could with like the $8 that we'd round up, go home, enter the codes. Oh, it's not enough. We need more. We need more Coke. We had an idea.
Oh, my God.
People that don't care about My Coke Rewards
Yeah, which is most people.
might be purchasing Coca-Cola products, finishing them,
Wow.
disposing of the containers
Oh, my God.
without redeeming the code on the lid.
No.
Where might we find these? First, we asked our friends and family, "Hey, got any extra Coke that you got rid of? Throw away the bottle?
You
Mind if we take a
freak.
piece in your recycling can?" You know, our neighbors were happy to let us peruse their recycling can on recycling day. We gathered more and more. We filled a bag with lids from our friends and family. We entered the codes. Not enough.
Not enough for what?
We had our eyes
What do you?
set
Yeah. What is
on
it?
a grand prize,
Uh huh.
but we didn't have enough yet.
What was the grand prize?
I will get there, Hannah.
Okay.
I said, we need more, we need more, we need more. I was becoming a junkie. I needed to fill
Uh huh.
myself with My Coke Rewards.
Yep.
I said, where can we get more? The baseball fields,
Wow.
where all the children
Yeah.
in the neighborhood play organized baseball.
Organized.
At these baseball fields, they have many of those large dumpsters that
Oh, geez.
big dump trucks pick up and lift onto their back. Okay?
Uh huh.
Garbage trucks.
Yep.
These will be filled every day by the snack bar, throwing out heap loads of garbage. And I said to Pat and Andrew, if we can get into those garbage cans,
And it isn't going to be you. So what you're really saying is if you guys can dumpster dive.
It will be a payday.
Uh-huh.
And we did for literally a month, Hannah. Every couple days, we'd make the bike ride down to the baseball fields. Andrew and Pat would climb in, open up the bags of rank garbage, just filled with old rotten food that has been thrown out. This is a busy baseball field, and they'd open the bags, sift through the food and the junk and the oil and who knows what else, and they would pick out the My Tote rewards. We filled giant bags with My Tote rewards. After a month, we went home. We entered literally thousands of My Tote rewards lids, and we finally had enough. Months of effort. Redeemed for. The Wii game, Carnival games, retailing for
like $14.99,
$29.99 maybe.
That's what you wanted? The Wii game?
That was what we could afford. I think we might have lowered our expectations along the way.
Because they probably had like a flat screen TV.
Oh, you would need to dumpster dive for years to get a flat screen TV. Oh my God. We had more than was humanly conceivable. And we got a Wii game, a shitty Wii game.
Were you? Don't say that about Carnival. Were you upset? Like, did you think, wow, we just wasted?
I think it was a huge victory.
It was a huge victory.
I mean, after you're covered in actual garbage more than once to pursue a goal, you're going to celebrate the ending no matter what.
That's true. I mean, I remember at one swim meet, we had a silent auction, which is kind of like a weird thing. I don't know why that was in the lobby, but obviously I was like, well, I want to win something. And my mom bought a ticket for the Lady and the Tramp gift box. I don't even know if I had seen the movie. We won it.
Hey.
And so then I became the world's biggest Lady and the Tramp fan. I was so excited. I won the little stuffed animals, a DVD, and I think that was it.
Winner.
But it's like that. But you put a lot of effort in.
Dumpster dive.
No, you probably could have gotten Carnival in an easier way. If you had just saved up the $8 that you asked for.
But the Tote executives that knew that there would be children out there digging in garbage. I gotta hand it to them. They went with it anyway.
They did.
So that was our cringy story.
Wow.
And we are back. If you're watching this in a place where you can leave a comment, please make us feel better and let us know some of your cringy childhood moments. You know? We've all done things that were super weird.
Yeah.
Most of the time, many of those things kind of subside when you get older and more adjusted to the world.
Mm-hmm.
For Hannah and I, though, when we met and fell in love, we seemed to regress slightly.
I don't know. We were always probably pretty weird.
I guess when you're newly in love, whatever, you act cheesy,
Yeah.
And then looking back on it, in the moment it doesn't feel cheesy. Yeah. But looking back, you're like, oh wow, we were really cheesing.
Yeah, really hard. Cheesy.
If you remember, 2 weeks ago, we told the story of getting our matching tattoos in Denver and Hannah getting very, very high in Denver. Yep. That was a part of our state tour road trip.
Yes, which was a month long.
Which was a month-long road trip.
In 2017.
Yes, when we had been together for a year. And it was our first, huge trip together. All alone, all throughout the country. And we were excited about this like you could not believe.
Yes.
I think more excited about this than we were for our wedding.
Oh, yeah. 100%.
Incredibly excited.
I mean, and I had also just come back from studying abroad, so we hadn't seen each other in 4 months. This was the highlight of our lives, I think.
And we found 2 physical relics from this era that we'd both forgotten about that are extremely cringy.
Yeah.
And a very great little insight into how cheesy we were at this time.
I mean, we have even worse things, Shane. Our cheese, the things that we would write to each other.
Oh, won't get into that.
But I don't even want to talk about it.
Someday we'll read those.
I don't know. These are just us being weird,
Yeah, so what we have for you is the email just saying it is cringy.
Yep.
We have the email
Why did we write an email?
that Hannah and I sent to her mom and dad
Yep.
and my mom and dad
In a group.
in a group email, just letting them know about this road trip.
Yeah.
And
It's like kind of asking permission.
I think it was like seeing if they would be mad.
But we don't really ask for permission. We're just like, we're doing it and we hope that's fine.
Going away for a year, or sorry, a month.
Yeah.
Going away for a whole month is a big trip.
Yeah. And we had never done anything like that
And
before.
I'd never had anyone else caregive for me for that long. So we were kind of feeling out like how they would feel about it, but we were also adults.
Yeah.
Even though it won't sound
I mean,
like
I was a sophomore in college. Is that really an adult?
Yes.
I guess.
I think you were like 21.
It didn't feel like an adult.
But we sent them an email to feel out how they were feeling about it and to present them with this idea. And it's adorable and cringy, and Hannah's now about to read it.
All right, it begins. Dear Mom, Dad, and Dad. Good one, guys.
Classic. Creative.
We hope this email finds you well. It is your favorite children, Shane and Hannah.
That sounds like we're siblings.
I know. Writing to you with some exciting news. No, we are not engaged.
But
You may have heard rumors circulating. What is wrong with us? Of a mysterious road trip taking place this summer. This email is to confirm those rumors and to provide you all with the information you will need to sleep soundly while we are gallivanting across the country. Attached, you will find a detailed itinerary of our trip. Please take careful note of the clip art that was meticulously selected for inclusion in the document. It speaks volumes. We would also like to highlight a few key aspects of the trip for you here.
I'll just note that on that itinerary, which we did indeed make filled with clip art,
Yep.
we had next to Denver a marijuana leaf.
Oh.
And I think that was what we were referring to here.
Yeah.
We were like, look it up. Weed in Denver. Like, edgy. Like, you gonna say something?
Oh my God. All right. Early on in our journey, we'll be staying at the Aylward residence for about a week to rest and prepare ourselves for the grueling weeks to come.
I could just imagine you and me over FaceTime.
Yeah, writing
this letter together.
Picking the words, like grueling and giggling.
That we are just the funniest people. So relatable.
And then our poor parents receiving this and being like, what is wrong with our children?
Yeah, being like, we're at work.
Yeah.
What are you doing?
Mother Burkaw, you need not worry about Shane's entry into the home. Mother Aylward has procured a single wide-bodied ramp that will replace the use of the two metal ramps. Please see Exhibit A in the attached appendix.
Don't worry, everyone. We attached an appendix that had exhibits.
Was it a photo of the
It
ramp?
was a photo of the ramp.
Okay. An astute observer will notice that there is one night on the trip that lacks an associated hotel stay. This is not a mistake, and we highly encourage you to not think about this night.
We will get to this in a minute.
Yep. Contrastingly, our one night in Denver will be spent in the lap of luxury. For just $10 more, we have purchased ourselves key card access to the world-renowned VIP King Lounge of the Grand Hyatt Denver, a room full of your wildest fantasies come to life, plus water and light refreshments. I don't remember that.
We didn't do it.
We didn't do it.
No. We ended up having to adjust dates a little bit, and there were hotels that we had to rearrange, and that one ended up not being feasible.
I was going to say, I don't think we
stayed
did
at
that.
a crappy hotel.
Yeah, it was not a nice hotel. We will not, this is a new paragraph. We will try to not talk to anyone in Texas.
That's a joke, Texas.
That's a joke, everyone. We actually stayed an extra night in
yeah,
Texas.
we were in Amarillo.
First we were in Rockford, and we loved it. Then we went to Amarillo. We were all around Texas.
We were all around.
Our New Orleans hotel is located in the heart of the French Quarter. After a 23-minute phone call with the very confused hotel receptionist, we have determined that there is indeed no step at the front entrance. However, if we arrive and find there is a step, we may need to call Father Burkaw and Father Aylward to be our personal wheelchair lifters for the several days we are in New Orleans. Your meals will be compensated. It should be noted that there is a chance Shane's Spinraza injections could interfere with our plans. We are keeping our fingers crossed that he continues to be denied treatments. If this fails, our hotels are all fully refundable and we will make an alternate schedule.
Yeah, at this point, we were like waiting with bated breath
Yeah.
for my insurance to approve the first ever treatment for SMA.
This was pre-Spinraza. I can't believe that.
And then with the timing of it all, our road trip came up and we were like, oh my God. We kind of thought I'd be started on Spinraza by then.
Yeah.
But I wasn't. And it threw a monkey wrench into everything. I think that might have been why we had to adjust dates. So
I don't know
we had to
about
get home
that.
Sooner
Yeah, we did because I remember we postponed your Spinraza treatment by a month. Like they approved it in July and we were like, we're not here. You started in August. And I flew home after the road trip and then flew back out 2 weeks later for your first injection.
Right. Yeah.
So, all right, now we would like to end with a few promises. We realize that a trip of this size may give you all some minor heart palpitations. Hopefully these promises will assuage your worries. Is that how you say that word?
Massage.
No, Shane.
Assuage.
No.
Assuage.
1, we promise to check in at least once a day. We will set up a text message group so that we can efficiently fulfill this duty.
Us being like, don't worry, we'll still text you.
I know. Like as if I didn't text my mom more than once a day anyway, that we're going to have to set up a group so that we can do it all at once. 2, we promise that Shane will do his feeding tube at least 3 nights a week.
Failed that one miserably.
You didn't do it once.
I didn't do it once.
We brought it in the car.
That was the beginning of the end of me using the feeding tube.
Yeah, you were like, oh, I survived.
I can live without it.
Yep.
Or maintain my weight without it.
Yeah. 3, we promise not to elope. We didn't even think of it.
Think about eloping.
4, we promise to obey the speed limits and consume copious amounts of caffeine to ensure we are always wide awake on the road. We actually got pulled over on this road trip.
Yeah, you got a speeding ticket.
No, I didn't get a ticket.
Oh no, we got away. Because it's a funny story.
Shane, I think we got away because when he walked up, I said, oh my God, I'm so sorry. I know I was speeding.
Why I think we got away is because he asked what we were doing on our road trip.
Because we had Pennsylvania plates and we were in Wyoming.
And I told him that we were celebrating the first ever treatment for my disease.
I was so embarrassed.
His eyes were like, oh, wow, like, congrats.
Yeah,
I think he was like feeling some pity.
It was probably a combination. I was very polite and I felt bad because we were speeding. All right. As you may have noticed, the two of us tend to neglect our hygiene when we are together. My God. There was a moment last summer when we realized neither of us had showered in 4 days. We promised to try our best to stay clean, but let's be honest, things are going to get a little pungent in that wet Louisiana heat. Our poor parents. Thank you for taking the time to indulge us by reading this. Jokes aside, we're really excited about this trip and we promise we'll be safe and we'll keep in touch. We're sure we'll have lots of pictures to send. As the two of us were excitedly researching all of the delicious restaurants we'll be passing along the way, we were reminded... Sorry, I can barely get through this. We were reminded of our favorite Bible verse, which we would like to close with. Quote, Anyone who does not provide for their relatives, and especially for their own household, has denied the faith and is worse than an unbeliever.
With love, Hannah and Shane.
We were asking for money.
That Bible verse was like, give us money and food.
We literally Googled, we were like, Bible verse where it says to pay for your relatives. And we found that one. We were like, this is amazing.
So that is our letter, and our parents responded with a variety of like, oh, geez.
Yeah.
What are you guys doing?
Yep.
Like, let's have a conversation about this.
Yeah.
But they were also supportive. So
of course.
whatever.
But this is not the cringiest part of our road trip.
No, the cringiest part was a little private document
that we made.
that I found.
Yep.
That has a huge title on the top that says State Tour 17.
Uh-huh.
And a list of about 50 to-do list items.
It's like a bucket list.
A bucket list, if you will.
Yeah.
But for this road trip specifically.
Or like a scavenger hunt, because some of
No.
them are like not really bucket listy.
But it was a challenge and things that we were excited about doing on this road trip. Now, 2 young people in love going off on their first big road trip of excitement and wonder.
Yep.
What kind of like wild things do you think might appear on this bucket list?
I'm
Like,
21, Shane's 24.
we're going to try edibles in Denver.
Yeah.
That's one thing, you know.
Yep.
What else?
That's actually, is that even, I think that is on the list.
What other mayhem do you think is on this list? Hannah, why don't you read some items?
Let's read the first item on the list, okay? Try hard serve and soft serve ice cream.
Cool. Wow. Okay. So we're starting off with a Ranger.
Shame that we wrote that down, That was our first idea.
It must get a little bit
Does it get
calmer.
cooler? We have 100 selfies.
Neat.
Cool. We have sing. This is the third item. Sing an entire song together in the car.
Cute.
Why did we have to put that on the list? Isn't that just normal road trip behavior?
My favorite item on here. Go to a library.
We loved libraries. Who doesn't love a good library?
It's a nice place. It doesn't sound like the rager of a road trip that we're...
One of my favorites is try 3 new types of soups.
That's not on. Are you serious?
Yes, it's on there. It's right under Eat at IKEA.
Which IKEA's on there. Oh my god. I like that we put an item that was pay for someone else's food behind us in the drive-thru.
Yeah.
Which we did not do.
We didn't ever
that
do
was
it.
a bucket list item that we were like, you know what? I don't know how we're going to do it. Too hard.
Never mind.
Can't figure it out.
Well, we kind of, we never checked anything off of this list. We wrote it and then forgot about it.
Yeah, I don't think we ever used it.
We weren't using it.
Hannah, we have make a prank phone call. This sounds like we're 9 and like going to the beach for the first time.
We also have snuggle in a public place. Snuggle.
Okay, here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna get some soft serve. We're gonna go to the library.
And then we're
gonna sing
cuddle.
a song on the way there, and then we're gonna cuddle. I found a really good one. Feed birds.
That's a great one.
We're gonna feed some birds.
That is really fun.
Wow. It's a wonder that we survived this road trip. But Hannah,
Oh, man.
can you read the final item on that list? Because
Oh.
it's a bit of a contradiction
To our letter.
Our letter to our parents.
It's don't shower for 5 days in a row.
Which we were successful at.
We probably were.
I think somewhere around Wyoming, I was
Yeah.
like, I don't want to shower anymore. I'm going to knock off that bucket. I will not be paying for the people behind me, but I will not shower. Take me to the library.
Oh my God. Well, we had a fantastic time on that road trip, so it was a success all around.
It was. And that, everyone, is Junkyard Mayhem.
Wow.
Thank you for listening to our cringe.
Yes.
It is a junkyard out there. Oh, wait. I have to tell them, if you like this podcast,
Oh,
like it,
yeah.
heard it,
Give us a review.
comment on it, share it with your friends,
Thank you.
bop it.
And now
I
what,
did that
Shane?
last time and it was fun.
Oh, it was?
Yeah.
I don't remember that. Good one.
It's a junkyard out there. It is probably filled with my tote rewards. So
Maybe you can still get that TV.
pull up your trousers, slap on your gloves, and get out there because those toads are not going to collect themselves. Have a good day, everyone.